Hi everyone, thank you again for tuning in to one of my videos. This is actually one of three in my Restoring Our Faith collection with Andy Starnes, 20-year practicing firefighter and paramedic from North Carolina. Our video actually ended up distorting at the end, so I had to cut it short. But of course, I didn't get to finish talking about my action steps, so that'll be in part 3. Okay, so here's the order it goes. This one is my intro, talking about my reasons for the collection, also clarifying the intro, my personal testimony that I talked about in video 2. Video 2 is going to be about restoring our faith in ourselves and out there in the world. And we're going to talk about many different things there. And then number 3 is going to be action steps and a couple of my comments and reactions to some things that Andy said in there, which is for a whole nother show. But I'm going to try to keep that brief. And then I'm going to talk about some little descriptions of philosophies that are part of my belief system. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in. By the way, since I always keep it 100, I really needed to get this collection out there. I feel like I still need some more information on what I wanted to talk about, but I'm just going to go ahead and just run with this. I'm going to be reading to you some parts of it, and then also the parts, that I'll just be adding, winging it on the spot. Okay, so the goals of this video, why I'm doing this collection, basically, there's lots of reasons for it, but basically I wanted to be able to talk to agnostics, atheists, people that don't believe in God, don't have some sort of faith system, but I wanted to be able to break it down into basically like, even if you do not believe in Jesus, Satan, evil, these sorts of things, you don't know what you believe, whatever is going on there, that we can all relate to, that there is dark in the world, okay? We have all these challenges and issues around the world and our country specifically, like school shootings, human sex trafficking, all of these sorts of things, right, that have been going on for a very long time. Different things we're hearing about in Hollywood, all of these sorts of things that may be a little bit outlandish to a lot of us, especially, you're not meeting people on the street every day that are talking, that are Satanists and talking about it, or whatever it is, playing and going deep with the dark side. So I wanted to be able to kind of just give some information of, believing in something, and more so believing in ourselves, and believing in ourselves, and that we are divine creators. We can help evolve and make this world better while we are here, okay? But you have to believe in something. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe anything is possible, and all these sorts of things that when I was growing up kind of sounded like garbage. Like, what do you mean? What is it? What do you mean anything is possible? So, I would never have believed I'd be at this point today that I am, talking and doing these things that, didn't think was possible. So what I wanted to, so that is a part of restoring our faith. While I grew up both Christian and Buddhist, but I related to the Buddhist side more, and I will talk about that in a minute. I asked Brother Andy Starnes to be on my show because he, even if you're not Christian, I think he gets through and he is relatable, and that's why I picked him. And I do believe he is one of the pioneers in fire service that's going to help us on this path. Okay, now I need to find one for law enforcement. So that's one of the reasons that I picked him for this show, okay? So again, I just talked about believing in ourselves, and I do mention, I do read some clips from a book. So Ernest Holmes was one of my biggest influences, and I'll talk about him in a minute, but I do talk about him in part 2, okay? So briefly, what I wanted to be clear on is I don't think in number 2 I really talked about my personal example in church of why I was giving that up, and kind of just to explain a little bit more. And basically I said that, and I'm going to be very blunt with my reaction to it at the time, okay? Because I was a different person at that time, a little like more angrier, but I was always very, loving, and always had that light inside of me. I just was very angry at the world, and for very many reasons, right? And feeling my own senses of rejection, all that sort of stuff during the time. So basically, okay, I grew up during that time. And about, we'll just say 14, the pastor, it was a Baptist church, basically is what he said, and I say this in my testimony, is that he said it was wrong to be gay. Basically, if you are gay, you're going to hell. That's it, end of story, okay? You don't have to be gay to be offended by a comment like that, which basically what I got from that is that he was basically saying, right, it's wrong. You're going to hell, going to this burning place. And I thought that was dumb. It's basically dumb. Like, even if I'm a good person, you're saying that I'm going to, because of my the person's sexual orientation, they're going to just go to hell and burn forever. And that is one of that would be the time I would say I started thinking for myself, because I just didn't believe that. And again, like I said, you don't have to be gay. Looking back at that time, though, maybe I was, at least from the waist up, until they start nagging women. Anyway, little funny little thing I had to put in there. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that he was showing me from his perspective that God is not unconditionally loving, okay? If you don't follow these rules, if you don't do these things, or whatever it is, you are going to burn in hell. Okay, that's what I was trying to make clear with that example. And as a result of that, it left me very disgusted about Christianity and organized religion until about in my early 20s. And even as an adult, I kind of still met the same kind of people, very rigid and very judgmental. So it didn't help me, okay? So I started reading these types of books, like from Ernest Holmes and a lot of other free thinkers and thought leaders, Napoleon Hill, other people in the religious psychology movement, and it really resonated with me, his books. And so even though there was the use of God was used in there, that word, I didn't like it, and so I would just replace it with something else, because it just spoke to me, and I'd just cry when I would read it or read that stuff. So speeding it up, as I grew on, I developed my own belief systems based on different philosophies. And those different things came from different. So it started with Buddhism as a compassionate, my mom is from Thailand, so from that compassionate nature, and it has its own philosophies. And so I will talk to you a little bit more at the end. Some parts of Stoicism, some parts of Sufism. Even there are some saints in Catholicism, which again, I don't know the really Christianity and Catholicism, not too much like on specifics of that, but the saints that I do believe in and resonate with. Okay, so speeding it up now, just wanted to share with you that I was able to find my own ways to accept the word God, to learn positive associations with the word praying and meditating, and to develop my own system. I have actually my own Bible that I've taken out. I've written my own stuff, and then I've taken pages from other books and put them into my own type of Bible and found my own way, okay? Taking bits and pieces. I believe in past lives. I believe in divine oneness. I call it oneness or creator, and do believe that Jesus was a spiritual teacher, and I am still learning right now. As I mentioned, that I picked up the Bible just recently on a trip to read some passages, and I want to study it more. Okay, so speeding up to close this is that I want you to really listen to part 2 and 3 specifically, because I want you to listen to those episodes and really sit with yourself, because hopefully you are going to new to the first responder industry. I want to help you understand the parts that I understand. You can seek for yourself whatever it is you believe and want to know more, because there's many things out there to study. If you ask, you will be given more information. But when you go to those calls and you experience these things in life, I don't want you to have to wait till something bad happens before you start getting spiritual, or, whatever it is, because why wait? Being grateful is one of the ways to help bring abundance and positivity in your life. And I also want to help you staying in I don't know to say mentally sound mindset, yes, while you are in this industry for however long it is, to give you some sense of the light, considering everything that you are going to go through or already have been through. Okay, so asking yourself about this calling and mission work. Have you already found it as a first responder? I'm bringing this up because there are different reasons that people get into this industry, and sometimes it's just following within the family's footsteps, and so you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, and you don't really take it that deep, right? What we're talking about is calling and mission. Okay, so there could be something specifically and uniquely that you offer in the industry, and we can help find that out for you. Okay, so do you agree, though, that having a faith or guidance system is going to help equip you mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, okay, for your personal and professional life? I want you to also look at the example that I give in my show with Andy about my almost sexual assault, which I was spared from. Do you think that something was helping me protect me? Something that can't be explained? Do you think that's God? Do you think it's source? Do you think it's universe? Do you think it's something out of this world? Because I don't feel like I had anything to do with it. Maybe my soul created it before I came in to this place on earth. But all that I know is that situation, yes, it was created for me, but I didn't necessarily ask for it. And I do feel like the angel came down and protected me. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself, when you hear that story, and you've heard or are going to hear lots of these types of stories in our life that you can't explain, unless you start doing some birth chart readings and astrology stuff. You're not going to know, these different types of answers that you could find out through that. And that's for another show, okay? About our, what's it called? Not only Akashic Records, but like our birth chart, Book of Life, I think it's called, which I have never read. So, okay, I know I talked a lot and really fast, but this part, I hope at least preps you for the collection. Why am I doing this? Why is this serious? Why even care? And like I just said, I think that we can all agree that dark exists. So if you are a person who wants to fight the dark, whatever your belief systems is, you can agree you want to fight the dark, then finding something that you believe in, okay? You are going to have questions. A lot of people have questions when, we are coming into the world, as I did, and just wondering what the hell's going on, why, and again, if you don't believe in past lives and all that sort of stuff, a lot of us want answers and why these lessons, if you look at how I look at life as all of these things as lessons and the journey of the soul, but that is for another show. Okay, people, so I will see you in video 2 and video 3. I will try to make short and sweet and not bore you too much. Okay, so thank you for tuning in again, and yes, I hope you get a lot or some value in this collection. Okay, and let me know if you need any help. Bye.